everyone, welcome aboard. I'm Michelle, and today we're doing a yoga practice meant for long flights. Because honestly, after enough hours on an airplane, the human body can start to feel less like a graceful miracle of engineering and more like a pretzel that somebody maybe forgot inside a backpack. Long flights can leave us feeling stiff, swollen, dehydrated, overstimulated, underrested, and somehow disconnected from our bodies. So today, we're just helping things move again. Nothing intense, nothing you can consider really athletic, just practical movement for real human travelers. And if you're doing this in an airport corner, a jet bridge, a hotel room, or a tiny airplane seat, welcome. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. So we'll take a comfortable seated position, as comfortable as you can get. Notice your feet making contact with the floor. Take a slow inhale and an easy breath out. Travel days can feel really mentally noisy. We've got announcements and schedules, people standing in the boarding lane for 40 minutes before the flight boards for no apparent reason. So before we even begin moving, we're simply helping the nervous system settle a little. Take another easy breath. Allow the shoulders to soften. Allow the jaw to unclench. Great. Slowly turn the head and look over one shoulder and then the other. Moving gently, no need to force any range of motion. Just move in a way that's comfortable. You may notice stiffness from sleeping upright or maybe staring down at screens during the flight. It's very normal. One more each side. Great. Now drop one ear towards one shoulder. Breathing gently here. Allow the belly to soften and switch sides. Just allowing gravity to assist us in creating space. Sometimes travel posture creates a surprising amount of tension through the neck and the upper back before we even notice. Take another breath here and back up to center. Begin rolling the shoulders forward a few times. And then back. Notice if your default was to move quickly. And ask yourself, can I slow it down? Can I move slowly enough that I actually feel the movement? Long flights can tend to pull the body inward. You've got rounded shoulders, compressed ribs. So we're simply creating some room through the chest and upper back again. Lift the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze tight, and let them melt downward. Good. Now, whichever side was stickier, a few more slow circles in that direction. Great. Bring the hands out in front of you and begin circling through the wrists. A few circles in one direction and then another. You might get a few snap, crackle, pops. My wrists always have little poppies when I do this. Spread the fingers wide. Now soften them again. Travel involves so much gripping. Suitcases or phones, maybe the seat armrest during some turbulence, the tiny coffee cups. Now interlace the fingers and create little wave motions through the wrist. Nothing aggressive, just circulation and movement. Now take your wave the other direction, a little yoga for the brain, and create some figure 8 shapes. First in one direction, and then see if you can take it the other one. This direction's always hard for me. Great. Now bring the hands onto the thighs, and as you inhale, let the chest move slightly forward and the belly soften into a little cow shape. No need to be dramatic here, especially if you're still in your airplane seat and you don't want your neighbor to be looking at you sideways. And as you exhale, begin rounding through the upper spine from the pelvis. Great. Head can soften forward here. And again, inhale, we sit up nice and tall. Chest lifts. Belly softens forward. Exhale, rounding back. Great. One more time. Sometimes after sitting for long periods, the spine almost forgets it's allowed to move. So we're just reminding it. Great. Coming back to center, reach one arm overhead and lean gently to the side. If you don't have the space to reach overhead, you can cross your arms over your chest or your waist instead. We're just giving the body some variety of movement here. Breathing into the ribs and the waist, just helping ourselves feel a little less stuck. Oh, slowly come back through center and take it to the other side. You may notice one side feels tighter depending on how you were sitting or sleeping during your flight. Oh, and if you had your arms crossed when you switch sides, swap so that your opposite arm is on top as you lean to the side. Slowly come back through center. Great. Sometimes small movements can really create the biggest sense of relief. We'll take that one more time. So swap your arms again. Gently lean into it. Great. Coming back up to center, other side. And remember, if you had your arms crossed, switch sides, opposite arm on top. Gently leaning in. Just seeing how much of a sense of relief we can gain from tiny movements. Great work. Come back through center. Right hand to the left knee or upper thigh, and gently twist to the left. Nothing aggressive here, sitting up nice and tall, creating a little movement through the torso and ribs. So long flights can really leave the body feeling compressed through the spine. So we're just doing a little bit to decompress here. Take another easy breath. And on your exhale, slowly switch sides. Keeping the breath soft here, no forcing depth. And back through center. Now sit up nice and tall. You can imagine a string is attached to the crown of your head and it's pulling you up towards the ceiling. Imagine creating space between each and every vertebrae. Great. Now hold on to this lifted position and we're going to take that same twist again. So right hand comes to the left thigh, twist left, being mindful about creating and keeping that space vertically while we're turning from side to side. Good. Now other side, keeping that lift as we turn to the right. You might feel your core engage here. That's great. Probably needed after such a long flight. It'll be helpful for your low back. Exhale, bring it back through center. Now we'll take a little bit of a thigh stretch, getting into the hip some. Cross one ankle over the opposite knee if that's available. If you don't have space for this kind of shape, you can simply cross one leg over the other. Both are totally valid. So if this is enough sensation for you and you're getting a nice stretch in your top thigh, great. Otherwise, you want a little bit more, maybe lean forward slightly. You can do this in either position. And pay attention to the sensation in the hip on the top leg. The long periods of sitting tend to make the hips feel pretty compressed and stiff, especially through the outer hips and the glutes. One more breath here. Slowly release and switch sides. Once again, ankle over the knee, or you can just cross your legs if you don't have the space to open up like that. Now notice if one hip feels dramatically different. That's pretty common. Leaning forward, paying attention to the sensation now in the left hip. It's on top. Great. And whenever you're ready, you can unravel and come back to center. Sitting up nice and tall, begin to lift the heels slowly and lower them back down. And again. This may help you feel the calves waking up a little bit. These tiny lower leg muscles work so hard to keep circulation going during long travel days. A few more repetitions, slow and steady. This is especially important after or during sitting for long periods of time. Great. Now we're going to keep the heels grounded and lift the toes and lower. Again, notice the subtle shift through the ankles and the shins. Where did the sensation move to? Balance and circulation involve so many small muscles. that we rarely even have to think about. A few more here. Breathing naturally, noticing if you tightened the belly. Great. Now lift one foot slightly and begin circling through the ankle. A few circles in one direction and then reverse. Maybe the ankles feel a little swollen or stiff from the flight. Switch sides whenever you're ready. Paying attention to the sensation and moving slowly. This is also some good work to wake up the hip flexors here, and no need to rush. Great. When you're ready, bring the foot back down, hands to the thighs, and hinge forward slightly with a long spine. And then you can allow the spine to round if you've got the space to allow it, and the head to soften downward. Knees stay bent. Now, this doesn't need to look like a yoga magazine photo. Your range of motion might be limited by stiffness, or it might be limited by the amount of space you have. Maybe you've got a seat in front of you. That's okay. We're learning to work with what we have here. So if you need to stay a little bit more upright to make it work, that's perfectly fine. Now take another easy breath here. And slowly roll back up. No rush. Now we'll take a seated walking reset. Coming back into the center, notice how the feet are making contact with the floor. Notice how the arms feel. Are they by your side? Are they in your lap? No judgment. We're just building awareness of the patterns that we just fall into subconsciously. Now lift one knee up and back down. Other side is taking some seated marching steps. Lift one knee up and back down. Knee up and down. Just slow, intentional movements here. Waking up the lower body, encouraging circulation through our legs, engaging those hip flexors. Take a few more easy steps, breathing steadily. Great. And when you're ready, come back to seated center and just take a moment to notice your body. Take a slow inhale and exhale. Maybe the body feels warmer now, and maybe that's welcome if you get cold on airplanes like I do. Maybe you notice there's a little less stiffness, or maybe the moving around we did made you more aware of the stiffness that is there. Or maybe you just took a few minutes to reconnect to yourself during a travel day, and honestly, that matters too. One more easy breath. Allow the face to soften and allow the body to settle. Now take a moment to notice the quality of your mind and of your emotional state. Did taking a few minutes to reconnect with your body change the way those were being presented to you? There's no wrong or right answer. We're just noticing, learning what it's like to be in our body and learning to pay attention to what happens when we make changes. And don't forget to thank yourself for showing up today. And this is the end of our practice. Thank you so much for sharing a part of your day with me. I'll see you next time.